Hi, I'm Nigel Hicks, and welcome to our travel photography course, Capturing the Essence of Faraway Places. In this course, I'll aim to teach you how to go about making the most of photographic opportunities when shooting abroad or even when shooting close to home. In this first lesson, I'll give an overview of what I believe travel photography is in terms of the types of subject matter and locations, and we'll go on to introduce ways to go about capturing unusual images of sometimes already well-known places. I'll conclude with ideas about how to prepare for a trip and how to consider what equipment to take with you. In the remaining 3 lessons, I'll look at how to go about photographing in some of travel's specialisms, particularly people, architecture, landscapes, and wildlife. When thinking about travel photography, people often consider that it applies only to distant, exotic locations, far from wherever they live. But what to one person is distant and exotic is home to another, so you should never dismiss photographic subject matter close to home just because it is familiar to you. To someone else, your home area might be the ultimate travel destination. Of course, travel photography is filled with images of some of the world's most iconic views, whether they be the Great Wall, Taj Mahal, the Great Pyramids, or the Grand Canyon, views that one might think have been photographed to death, and with which we are all totally familiar and are able to recognize. However, never overlook your own backyard. Of course, this is obvious if you live in a recognized tourism hotspot, and if you're lucky enough to live in such a place, then you'll be spoiled for choice when it comes to shooting images that are easily defined as travel photography, even if you didn't have to travel more than a mile or 2 from your own home. But even if you live in a less visited place, such as an industrial city, this doesn't mean that your area is devoid of travel-type photography. And once you start to think about things, you might well be quite surprised with the subject matter you can generate. If it helps, think of travel photography in such a non-tourist location as being either a pioneering exploration of its tourism potential or documentary photography with a positive spin. Quite apart from the types of locations, we also need to consider what types of photography actually constitute travel photography. In fact, it has to be said that there really is no specific travel photography skill or genre. Instead, it requires multiple talents that cross several of photography's well-established genres, and it is hard to say which of these is more or less important than any of the others. We'll start with one of the most popular, however, and that is landscapes. From tropical rainforests to polar ice caps, landscape photography forms a major backbone of almost all travel photography, whether they be remote ice-filled lagoons, such as this image taken at Jökulsárlón in Iceland, or urban garden and parkland scenes. Linked closely to landscape photography is nature, photography of both the plant and animal world living within our natural environment, an essential feature of many forms of modern tourism, whether an African safari, such as this cheetah photographed in Kenya's Masai Mara, or a Southeast Asian scuba diving adventure. Inevitably, people are crucial to travel photography, and indeed form the major attraction for a good many photographers. People photography comes in many forms, of course, starting with a composed portrait in which your subject has cooperated with you and arranged themselves for your shot.